Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young.
But we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
We have a guest today. Today we're welcoming Linette Dai from Linette Dai Design. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hi, Linette.
Very excited.
Hi, Shaun.
So you guys know each other. You're both in the same SoCal area.
Yes. We met on Instagram. We were Instagram friends like over the pandemic. And then when I flew back from Taiwan, I took a hiatus. Well, I was still working, but I was living in Taiwan during the pandemic.
Oh,
and
I
then
remember that.
I think we started DMing or something, or...
You were working with Jenny McDonald when I first followed you.
Yes.
You were working with Jenny McDonald Design here in LA. And you were like, if we're going to lock down, I'm going to be with my family overseas if we do this.
Like
and
if we're going to die, then I want...
Yeah. And or like, well, 2 weeks with my family sounds great. And so you went and then it turned into much longer. I
ended up staying there for 15 months.
Oh, wow.
While running a company here.
Yes, remotely. Yeah, I did all my site visits via FaceTime. It was crazy. It was not sustainable because I would have to wake up super early in the morning to catch the time. But then I'd also have to stay up really, really late. So not a long-term plan. But then when I came back, then we met up. We went to a restaurant.
Right when everyone was getting vaccinated, I feel like, was when you were like, now we can finally see everybody. And you could travel here again. Like that was a big deal.
Yeah.
You could come home. Yeah.
Wait, tell everybody where you're at now. Because you used to be more local to like Long Beach where I am. And then your studio is now where?
It's based in Laguna Beach.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Sunny, gorgeous. Like,
yes. People are like, why did you go there? I'm like, well, for the sunsets, obviously.
Imagine asking, like, if someone was like, we went to Disneyland, and you're like, why did you go there? You're like, I feel like the place kind of tells you why I went there. Like,
but it is kind of, even in the middle of Orange County, it is kind of tucked away and remote. Like, it's not super easy to get to Laguna.
Yeah, but that's what I actually like about it, because it feels like you're going on like a little getaway.
Yeah.
It really has like getaway vibes.
I feel
it's like
that.
the coastal line and everything. It's just so beautiful.
Did you know that it used to be, queer history. Did you know it used to be like a major artists and queer enclave?
It still is.
Yeah. No, it still is.
It still is, but not to the same, like,
it's been
hippie,
gentrified.
the beach. Like, well, because people were just like popping up little beach shacks in that era of the 50s, the 60s. You could just buy cheap beach land down there. A lot of people didn't want to live that far from like major population centers. And like, it was such a weird place, kind of how you had like the Malibu beach colonies. Like Laguna had little like...
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, similar stuff to that. And yeah, so like if you're guaranteed to see a bunch of gays in Speedos probably this summer at like West Street Beach in Laguna is like the little like gay beach spot that you walk down the cliffs to. But that's like
I didn't know about that. Okay. Do you go there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's
like
cute.
It's
like, people bring their music and they set up their tents, and then there's like people have, it's like a little gathering spot. I think it's like equivalent to Will Rogers in LA is like the gay, the closest to West Hollywood is that. And then West Street Beach used to be below a lot of the like gay people own their houses up on the cliffside. And so it was like a progressive party all the time of like, well, let's go to the beach and then we'll come back up to our house on the cliff. Like,
we'll walk up the cliffside.
Yeah, pretty much. So
that's
my
fun.
extent of I know, especially in the summer right now that I'm sure they're having a great time.
It's become very touristy, actually.
Yeah.
But it's also like very family oriented.
I see that.
Nowadays. Yeah.
It's a more peaceful, quiet vibe. Yeah. Anyhow.
So are your clients most around there, or are you going all over Southern California?
It's pretty much all over. I feel like I'm constantly just toggling LA and Orange County.
And that's like South Orange County. So that's like a span.
Yeah. As close to the coastline. Just to keep like the drive like more up and down.
On the 405.
Well, like the PCH.
Oh, okay.
Preferably
Amazing.
like as close to,
Yeah.
You
as
said, I
possible.
really
Beautiful.
want to be as close to
Like actually
here.
on the sand.
Yeah, I'd like to walk to the projects, please, like along the
That's
That would
on
be
the sand
beautiful.
would be amazing.
Okay, so we know a little bit about your, well, I guess, I don't know, was that your early days when you were with Jenny? Like, what's your career been like?
Yeah, so she was one of the first designers that I worked for. I love working with her, by the way. She's so
She's
sweet.
so sweet. She was one of our first
Yeah.
guests on our show.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I think she was the first guest, no?
Oh, maybe the
Or
first.
one of the first?
Yeah, like she's definitely like top, like first 10. Sean? I don't know. We could
Oh,
look.
for sure. For sure. She's a cheerleader. Like she loves to
Yeah, she's
see
so
other
sweet.
designers
Yeah,
succeed and like to do
she's-
their thing. And
Yeah.
it's very
She's
the
cool.
fun to
one-
watch her grow.
No, she's been very like, I mean, she's always been super supportive, but she was the one who like introduced me to the photographer that I use now, Sarah Tram,
Oh, yeah.
who I've been
Who worked with
using
Emily
ever since.
Henderson. Yes.
Mhm. But yeah, no, I like fell into this industry. I didn't even know that interior design like was like an occupation. I don't think it's something that was ever on my radar. I was like one of those people that just kind of have a lot of interests and like didn't know what I wanted to be. Had a bunch of different. I think this is like my 4th or 5th career.
Okay.
What were the other ones?
Yeah.
So right out of college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And my mom, she had like a friend who was like an investor and like they wanted to start a cafe. And so I ended up like owning and operating a boba shop in Chinatown, like on Broadway. So I did that for like all of my 20s. It's very character building.
I mean, probably taught you how to deal with different kinds of people and feast and service.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally
no, it's
different
like,
way.
it was all customer
Problem
service
solving.
and like, yeah, exactly. And just juggling a lot of things and just having to learn like all the ins and outs of a small business.
Right.
So,
No kidding.
yeah, it's definitely a great experience. And I've also been like a health management coach.
What does that mean?
Like I helped people like with weight loss or like weight gain, like just
Wow.
yeah,
Nutrition and stuff.
nutrition.
How did
What
you
else
get
did I
into
do?
that
I was
even?
a teacher. That was also something that someone just like got me into. Like, hey, do you want to do that? You know what I mean? Like friends. Like,
You're like finding yourself in the
That's
way
so
you do when
funny.
you're younger is just like, well, I got to
Yeah.
start
Opportunities.
experimenting and figuring out
exactly.
what I like.
Yeah. It just like opportunities came my way, and I'm always like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll try that. You know, and that was really good because that was also a lot of like just one-on-one training, things like
Mhm.
that. And then I was a teacher. So a couple times I lived in Taiwan for a couple years at a time, and I would like teach English. I love working with kids.
Aw.
So yeah, I did that. And then like a friend of mine in the US, well, like once I came back, we went to, so it was mostly like, it was basically just like helping friends with like renovations, like flipping homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they knew you were creative and had a good eye kind of a
I
thing.
guess.
Okay.
And I think it was something that I didn't really realize about myself, but you know, people were like, oh, like you're good at that, or like you have good taste, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I
And I-
do.
yeah. And I guess wherever I used to work, I would always like design the place
Yeah.
wherever I worked, you know, and I would end up, you know, I also worked like at an office as like an executive assistant once. And I kind of like just picked out all the furniture and rearranged everything. You know, it's just, I think
Yeah.
for all of us who are designers, it just
I
comes
was like that too.
naturally. Yeah. Like the spatial design.
And you
I guess
want your
growing
space
up.
to be beautiful. Like I couldn't work in an ugly space, so it was just like we're
I have to
painting
fix
this office.
this.
Like yeah.
Yes.
I
And
have to-
also so that it's like logical and functional and it makes sense. Like,
Yes.
okay, like the front counter should be over here, not over there, you know?
Right.
And like there should be a space here for people to sit down.
Yeah.
I do
Just
think
things
there's
like that. Like,
something natural in designers that picks up on maybe it's a little OCD, but maybe it's also hospitality. It's
But it's
like
also
some of all of
being
it. Like
It's also being proactive because the people I think that those of us that run our businesses now, we were the ones that are like, oh no, this has to change. Like we spoke
Right.
up as well. And we're
Yeah.
just kind of like made it happen. And that's like the business part, like the entrepreneurial
Yes.
part of us, I think, versus
I think
just
so,
like, I have a good
definitely.
eye.
It's like, I'm just going to fix this. Like, I see the
Yeah.
problem.
this
I
is
know this needs
happening.
to be handled. And then now I'm going to fix it for everybody. Like,
Yeah, we're problem solvers by nature.
Yes.
That's what design is really, is solving problems. So, no, it's actually with property investment
oh,
Oh, okay.
projects.
interesting.
So flipping houses. So they were like, hey,
Got
help us
it.
pick out the materials, help us figure out how we should move this around. In retrospect, thinking back, I'm like, oh, they probably should have hired a designer, but like, but I think when you're flipping homes, you're trying to keep your overhead down. So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't hire designers.
Yeah.
And so when prospective homeowners would come and like walk or tour the homes, like during open houses, like they were like, oh, who designed this? And like, that's when I started getting my first projects. So it kind of just really like happened organically.
And you didn't have like a business formed or you had no like formal entity
Well, not
or
at the
anything.
time. And so like I had to open something like an LLC to be able to collect the money. And then I also went back to school. So then I studied at UCLA Extension for the interior architecture program.
That's what Claire did, I think.
Yeah. So everything was like born out of necessity.
So you're like,
I
oh,
was like,
shoot.
like,
I'm going to do this. I should learn how.
yeah.
And then eventually it was like at one of these, and then I think Ivy, there was like a software program called Ivy
Mhm.
that I think that's still around.
They're still around. House Pro now.
Yeah, it became House Pro. But I went to like an Ivy like orientation, and that's where I met Ginny. Well, that's where I first met her. And then we ended up at this other, there's like another podcast, like they were having it like an event, like a podcast host. I can't remember her name now, but like they were having like an event at the PDC. And then I attended that, and there was like a bunch of people that were there, and Ginny was there as well. So we ended up being like thrown into like this group where we all exchanged emails and stuff. And so I just did I kind of just like did a cold email one day and was like, hey, I was just wondering if you needed help. I would love to come and help out. I felt like I wanted to have, because my experience was more on the construction side because I had been like flipping homes, but I felt like I didn't know anything about decor because I was never like a very decorative person. But I know a lot of people, I'm like more minimalist, but I know a lot of people like they would want me to furnish, right? Like if I was doing their house, they also wanted furniture. And I just thought that like, if I'm going to be doing this, I really want to learn from the best. And I really loved like Jenny's work. So that's why I reached out. So yeah. And then I started freelancing for her, and I was like freelancing for multiple designers
Oh, I see.
at the same time, and, doing some of my own projects. So basically I had like 6 to 7 jobs at the same time.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, a relatable story that we've heard from many designers is I kind of just started saying yes to everything because I wanted to get in there. And then I got my hands dirty and started digging in. And then I
But I
realized
do think it's a good lesson and reminder, especially we have some listeners that are still kind of starting or like thinking about starting. And sometimes you have to just build it piece by piece. It's not necessarily like one day you throw your website up and
Right.
now you're just waiting for all the money to come in because it takes time to build. So you were like building it piece by piece with support in a way. And so from there, when did you go out on your own?
So I've always felt like by the time I turned 40, I wanted to have my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just something that was like this
Goal?
internal clock where I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
your clock is running. Like, I have to do this by the time I turn 40. Like,
Well, it's also giving you
Yeah.
a deadline probably to like make it happen, which you just knew that's what you wanted.
Yeah. And so I put in like a 1-month notice, and yeah,
then you just
This-
started.
I just started. Well, because I had already been doing like projects on the side,
Like you had clients.
but it wasn't like ever official. Like I've never like marketed. So it was more just like, something that like a business set up to like collect money and pay taxes. But it wasn't
How-
like an official.
How are people finding you? Just word of mouth?
Yeah, it was just word of mouth. Yeah. So I did want to like eventually kind of like establish an actual business. And at the time, I actually first started with a friend. So we did it together. And then I think very like shortly after, like we realized, it's like one of those things when like, it's almost like if like you don't really like discuss or like talk about something, like it's kind of like if somebody, like if two people get together, they really never discuss if they want to have kids. And then you just like assume it's all going to work out type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like a little bit like that where we never like really like discussed like who's going to be in charge of what, which I think is really important in like a business partnership.
Yeah.
It is. And partnerships are hard. Like I had one too before this, and it was not easy. It's not easy, like in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
like,
then you went ahead, Rebecca, and
now I have
still
two
set
other
up
ones.
the HYDC California partnership, and then also with happy hour, and like you learn stuff.
Though I think it's different though when it's side gig versus like we both depend on this and we're both like trying to like push it forward. But yeah, if you don't know exactly how or the direction, you're not moving in the same direction maybe, then
yeah, like just haven't just had like the talks beforehand,
structure.
Yeah.
Especially when you
I
both have the same skills maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, because I think like really successful partnerships, a lot of times the ones that I see for interior design, it's like one person really owns like a certain department, the other person owns another department. So, I mean, I would totally do it again. It's not like, oh, I don't have anything against partnerships. I think it just has to be like the right complement.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
So,
how long have you been doing it solo now?
Yeah.
Solo as of 2023.
Wow.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, like, this is just me. Like, it means I have seen how your tenacity and your like drive has pushed you forward on projects. Is that just how you were like you were born? Like I was born a hummingbird. Like I'm just gonna be everywhere. I'm gonna be everywhere, lots of ideas, lots of things. Do you feel like that was inherent in you, or do you feel that something drove you these last few years, or something clicked, or like where did that come from? What's doing that for
She
you?
turned 40.
That's
Like, yeah, maybe. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, what was it that got you?
It's
like,
survival.
Yeah, I honestly, nothing like needing a paycheck will help you to get going. Like,
That's a really interesting take. Thank you for saying that. It's very kind of you.
I feel like I've been watching you from afar, and like Shaun's like kind of kept me up to date a little bit with just his conversations with you over the years. And I have seen you grow. Yeah. Like I knew you were in a different partnership. And then when you became Linette Dai Design, like, oh, she's an AD. Shit. Like she's not messing around anymore, like there's like video, like it's like super professional and like at a top level.
Oh, thank you. I think like, I feel like for me, it's like these things don't come naturally to me. So like marketing and all that kind of stuff, I'm much more comfortable working behind the scenes. So again, like I think this is like the way that everything's ever happened is it's out of necessity. So I feel like because I love working on the project so much and I love like working behind the scenes, because my favorite thing to do is just be like, discussing things like with the trades and like resolving problems. I know it's like really weird, but that's my happy place. Like being at the construction site, like talking to the carpenter about like, how does this, transition or whatnot. But in order for me to be able to work on these like super fun, detail oriented projects, I have to force myself to like put my name out there. Otherwise, like, how's anyone going to find me? So, and also like the credibility, I feel like getting published is important because it builds credibility so that, how like they say like luck is when opportunity meets preparation or something like that. And so I think in my mind, I just always wanted to be prepared. And so it's kind of like working backwards. It's like, well, how can I be prepared? What are all the things that might matter, if the opportunity came across? And so I think that's what drives me, is because in order to do the thing that I love to do, I have to do the uncomfortable things that I don't want to do. So, and that includes like you would not believe how mortified, I don't know if I told you this, Shaun, but I was so mortified when I had to change my business name to my name because that's what the publicist told me to do. And she was like, otherwise, no one will ever be able to find you or your work and things like that. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, I was like, I don't want it.
But I
And
don't
then
want to. Like,
yeah, I was so,
But then
I
they'll know
felt
who
so
I am.
exposed. Like I don't know if it's like my background, like a lot of like Asian households, like we're sort of raised to be like, stay quiet, like don't bring attention to yourself. And so I'm very used to kind of being like, I'd rather sort of be that wallflower in a way, even though I'm like literally not. Like if I'm at like an event, like I'll talk to people, but like wallflower in the sense of like, just don't pay attention to me, please. So I was actually really like horrified when I had to like put my name out, and especially like on the side of the building, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to look at it. But I knew like it was like something
like
that
I
was
have to do
important.
this. Like,
Yeah. So same with like marketing. It took me so many years to wrap my head around the fact that I needed to have an Instagram account. Um,
relatable.
yeah, because like I don't naturally love like social media. I'm kind of a dinosaur. Like I never even hopped onto Facebook and any like I only, set up an account just in case like in order
You're
to like stay in
preparing.
touch with
Yeah.
just like but yeah, and so I think that's what really drives me is like knowing that it's something that I should be doing and that is important in order to get to do the things that I want to be doing.
But it
If
sounds
that
like you're
makes sense.
also getting help and professional advice. Like you work with a publicist.
Yeah, I've worked with a couple, but yeah, I definitely always believe in seeking out the specialists or like the experts and,
Yeah.
and doing what in order to like know what it is that they recommend or advise on that top level. I think
Hmm.
I've always been like a lifelong learner. I'm still am. I always feel like I'm just getting started because
Yeah.
there's still so much to learn. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps this, which is like so ironic because I never thought about becoming a designer, but this is literally something that I'm like, I can't believe that I found this career because it checks so many boxes. Like
It
just
does. Like you'll never
yeah,
stop learning. Like, and I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't,
It's never
I know people
boring.
do stop, but yeah, like
Some
there's so
do,
many
but they're
different
not my
ways.
people. They're not our
Li-
people. Like,
Well, yeah.
You have to be a certain, like an alien. We're like aliens, like
But there's so
entrepreneurial
many
and
different,
creative.
yeah, and there's so many different parts of our industry that you could like pivot into. And like Jenny
Yeah.
does more product now. There's so many different avenues and paths. And as the world changes, like our industry changes too.
Oh my
So
gosh,
I feel
we
the
have to
same.
pivot so yeah, we do have to
Yeah.
pivot so much, and the nice thing about it too is that you can design your business however you want.
Yeah.
Like you make it, you structure it to what works for you.
mhm.
So I love that as
And let
well.
it
And
change. Did you always know you wanted to be like more in a luxury space? Was that always like kind of part of the goal of where you were specifically moving?
that's a really good question. I feel like that again was something just out of necessity because when I first started out, I want to do affordable luxury. And then after you do this for a while, you realize like that's actually not possible.
It's affordable for them, but we can't afford our lives. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not sustainable because of the time it takes and the resources that it takes. It just takes so much money that really like it just so in
It won't
order to make
happen.
We
and so
sacrifice too much. Yeah.
exactly. And we end up like absorbing all the costs and we take all the hits. And so this was again like something that I felt like it was out of necessity. Like this needs to, yeah, in order for us, because as creatives, like we're artists. Like we're creating like, these spaces. It's like it's livable, functional 3D art. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you need to be able to, like, the clients need to be able to afford it. It takes so much. Like, it's not just the design, it's like the entire process of like implementation and execution that is so time consuming and labor intensive and really takes a village. And so I think that's where I realized like that I needed to focus more on luxury
Was that
interiors.
hard for you? Like, I guess, like mentally or emotionally to like, there's probably a reason why you thought you wanted to focus on affordable luxury. Like, I don't know, some of us, like me and Shaun talk about it a lot. Like, it's been a little bit hard for us to kind of like feel like we belong in the luxury space, I guess. I'm not saying that you do or no, don't, but was it a hard transition or did it just kind of naturally evolve for you?
I think I enjoy it because I love service. Like I love actually like making people happy and like doing things to, and that's basically what, it's a service industry, right? And so I feel like the way that we're so thoughtful and the way that we think ahead and we pick up on like so many of the needs of our clients, I think it's actually very tailored towards luxury service because that's what they appreciate. And
Yeah.
so I think it just kind of clicked one day to me. I was like, this is actually a great fit. Like,
You're good here.
because we're already doing it anyway.
Like part
We're
of you was
going like,
fighting it maybe, or you were like, is this what I want to be doing or who I want to be doing it with?
Or
And
you
then
just
you were
realized you were already there and
like,
you
this is
just,
good.
like,
yeah, I
Like-
feel like that's like, honestly, if we really reflect on what it is that we're doing, we're already providing a luxury service.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's a matter of like finding the right clients for what we already provide. I think that was like my when you say like mental shift, like that's when it kind of clicked and I knew that that's what I wanted to focus on.
Yeah, people that value the service level of it.
Yes, and appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't you think-
exactly.
I use this illusion a lot just because it's very relevant to me, but like I love having my sugar cubes for my coffee. I don't like loose, but when you put sugar cubes in a container, when you start shaking them, they all sort of fall into place. Like they put themselves back in a grid. The way that crystals, and it's like a natural, like vibrating crystals puts them back in their shape. Like they find a natural homeostasis of where they like to lock in. And cubes are one of those things that if you keep shaking them enough, eventually they all start locking back into their boxes. Like they lock back in. And I feel like you're kind of describing that of like, once I stopped fighting the shaking, I realized we were already where we needed to be. Like I already was doing, and as soon as I realized I was there and I just needed to let the shaking lock it into place, everything feels a lot easier suddenly. When you're aligned, literally aligned, like the cubes get aligned, then everything is like, oh, why
And
was
it's stronger.
that so hard?
Like,
Yeah,
it's a stronger foundation too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hold on to that, what you've collected and what you've built, knowing that hey, this works for me. Like, I want to keep those things that work for me.
Right. Exactly. I feel like, and also, you know what? You're right. It is actually a lot easier working with the luxury clientele because they already understand that you pay for these services. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to sit there and explain. There's
You don't have
like
to talk
a
about
lot
what
less
quality
friction.
why quality
Yeah.
construction matters.
Exactly.
Like, they already know
Exactly.
it matters.
Why
they
delivery
get it.
costs
Yeah.
extra.
And they also don't ask you like a million questions because they don't have time. Like
Right.
I'm or I don't know what it's not that they don't have time because like, that's I guess
Everybody
that's like not
doesn't
fair
have
to
time.
say. Yeah. But it's more like they don't. I just found that like in general that they understand luxury. So there's a lot of things that we don't have to explain.
Yeah, and they probably have other services that are similar. I have clients right now that are in this like kind of like really crazy time of life with a new baby and taking the bar and moving across the country. And she uses the terminology a lot. Like I ask her, "Okay, do you want to come to the slab yard and look at the stuff with me?" And she's like, I'm just at a point where I'm outsourcing all these decisions. Like I'll tell you kind of what I want, but like the idea of outsourcing this stress and all this minutia, that is the piece that I think every client is going to have a different like gauge on what they want to outsource, but they're outsourcing it. Like they're outsourcing their cleaners. Like we're kind of in the same. They outsource. They don't mow their own lawns either. Like there's a lot of things they don't do.
Yeah.
Yes, we're like part of their like crew or team that helps take away their like problems
Yeah.
and
Like, just
solves
ask
it
Linette.
for them. Yeah.
When they have tension, like husband and wife are talking and they're just like, why are we talking about this? Give this to Linette. Like, it's that idea of like, okay, the bathroom needs a deep clean. just make sure to tell the housekeeper next week there's guests coming and to do a deep clean on the bathroom. Like, it's that easy sometimes. It is
Exactly.
that
Like,
easy to
just
make a
handle it.
decision. Yeah,
Just handle it. Yeah, exactly. And then and
completely.
also like quality, right? Like the
Yes.
difference between like quality. You also don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to like really explain as much.
Well,
And
they'll
they-
be mad if you give them something that's low quality. They're like, what?
Exactly.
Why are we seeing this? Why are
Like,
we
we're
looking
paying for
at
this. Give us the best.
Yeah.
You know? Exactly.
I see
And
that.
so
There's
yeah.
like an ease that comes with feeling like you're aligned with everybody and not having to fight as much for the basic level of stuff. And that's like a frustration continually when you're a starting designer is I still feel this. I feel like my taste level and my knowledge and my exposure to design has only continued to exponentially grow. And I feel like for a lot of designers, it's always going to be way ahead of whatever you're producing. That's why I feel like you keep seeing these leaps and bounds from project to project a lot of the time is I have an abundance of creativity and ideas and design expertise and knowledge and exposure to taste. So, of course, every project is going to just keep moving that needle further. But every project that's out there will always be behind what you're capable of producing when you're a creative. Like, whatever you can get out tangibly will never match all that knowledge and education that you have.
Someday it
Like,
could.
yeah. Or you see a body of work that becomes indicative of, oh gosh, look at how much they were holding in that they had in their minds. And like they've put together this body of work that shows it now.
They needed someone to pay for
Totally.
it.
Yeah, I just need rich people to pay for it.
The other thing is because these projects take so long, like the designs or the things that we picked out was like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So in a sense, like it's how long it takes for these projects to unfold and be complete for people to be able to see it. So I think in that sense, for sure, like that, you're kind of always going to be a little bit ahead of like the work that is being seen. But I also agree that like there is so much like inside, right, that just hasn't had an opportunity to come out yet.
I want to ask you a question about part of your, like what you were saying, because you were talking about PR and photography and like getting work out there. And that's a big investment. If you had to say like, what has been the best investment you've made in your business? It might not be photography, because that's what I want to know. Like, what has been the most...
Especially when it felt like a stretch, I would say.
Yeah, like a challenge or a push or I had to convince myself and then it paid off. Like,
I feel like I'm constantly investing in my business. I feel like most of whatever I do just goes back into investing. That's a good question. I mean, I definitely think that like photography is up there. It's so important. I don't even know if you can really, can you really like, I mean, some people take their own photos.
I don't know these people.
Well,
I'm kidding.
we know a
I'm
couple,
kidding.
but
I
they're
do.
like super
Do you know
talented.
DeVito? Do you know DeVito? He does his
Yeah.
own photography.
But
I
he
love
was
that
a
for him.
photographer.
So amazing.
He was a graphic designer photographer before. So
In fairness, we shouldn't joke
I
about
mean,
that because
Lauren
a very close
from
friend of ours,
Studio Playbox, she can do her own photos, but now she isn't
her
allowed
photography is also like independently as a hobby for her.
to.
It's
Like she's a photographer.
gorgeous photography.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
so
know
for her,
Lauren,
it's
yeah.
different. Like it's a talent that she also has that she like takes pictures on film for some of her projects. So she has, it's an artistic venture, not just I have to do it because I am a photographer and I don't want a photographer or something. Like,
Also knows for her to grow her business, she can't be doing every single thing. Like she could also make all the tiles on the backsplash herself. That's not like a great use of anyone's
until
time.
I'm like a real, like if a billionaire wanted to pay me to literally like think about like arts and crafts movement or how some of the like case study houses where it was like everything in this house, Frank Lloyd Wright house, like everything was custom done because the creative had a vision for all the stuff, right? Like I just don't have the capacity for all that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I thought of a good answer. So I think the most important investment, aside from like, professional photography, would be like my time, like just the time that I've invested into like networking and putting myself out there, going to places where I didn't know anybody, just showing up at events, like just saying yes, literally just going to places. I think I was invited one time to like this opening in Laguna Beach. This was before I had moved to Laguna Beach. And I just went there, ended up meeting the photographer. And through her, I ended up, she invited me to this other event and I went to that. And like, same thing with like how I met Ginny, it's like, I think a lot of it is just going to physical places and meeting people and then seeing where that leads to.
I'm going to give it to you. You are, from outside appearances, a networking pro.
Yeah.
Oh,
you really do walk the walk of this, of like, I go to places uncomfortable. I show up. I might not want to go, but I'm going. And
you're
it's
at
like
industry events and like part of the fabric of your region and the industry.
Yeah. And I think like, I always feel like I used to read a lot of books, and one of my favorite books is called Principles by Ray Dalio. But basically, like, everything that you want is like kind of like on the other side of this forest, but you have to like walk through the forest. And so it's something like that, where it is like really diving in and doing those things that like freak you out and it's scary and you don't know what's going to be on the other side. Like, again, like a lot of the things that I do, I have no idea if it's going to pan out, but it's kind of just like, you're not going to know unless you like try it.
this, like, what, Rebecca, who did you have that quote, Rebecca, where it's like, do things scared? This sounds a lot like this.
Yeah. Well, and no one's going to be knocking on your door. Like, that's rare that
Yeah, it's not going to fall
someone's
on your
going to
lap.
find you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, but it's also because you've already planted some seeds that could have been years ago, and then they like don't flower until you won't expect it. But yeah, I guess to that point, things that have quote unquote fallen in my lap are from things that I did a few years back that were weird or scary, or I just said yes, not knowing what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems like another theme in your trajectory is you say yes a lot.
Yeah.
Like to random
or like
things.
Sometimes too much. So that's what I'm like, this is like my new season of like starting to say no to things, or just like kind of like,
we love this for you.
Starting to kind of like focus.
Now you know what you want to do.
Yeah, I feel like I operate in like seasons, and I think that's for anyone, right? Like there are seasons that you go through, like certain stages. Agreed. And have certain focuses.
Yeah, like this year has been a big roots year for me. Like I've been rebuilding myself personally and professionally and in my business. And like
Renee from Tandem, she was talking about this idea of roots. You're gonna be roots season.
Or branches
where you're like out of the ground growing and
like
reaching.
we're going out, we're getting everywhere, we're seeking out all the opportunities. We're going to grow the team. Like her thought is like, well, what kind of year are you having right now? Like, because the strategies are different.
Dig into processes and like, exactly what you're trying to do before you just start branching into random directions.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's kind of like a cocoon, where sometimes you just have to like cocoon for a while before you can be a butterfly.
And then sometimes you're the caterpillar again, and you just need to like get a lot of knowledge, eat as much as you can, absorb as much as you can, like take things in. Sometimes you're taking in,
sometimes
and then
you're like a mushy, goopy blob, and you don't know.
And you're inside the cocoon, just metamorphosizing for a while.
Yeah, but you don't know that when it's happening sometimes. What does your team look like now? Do you have one?
Yeah, so right now we're a team of 5 in terms of like operations, but not everybody's full time.
Okay.
Not everyone's full time. Yeah. So there's me, right?
That's still 5 people to manage.
I know. Well, that's the other thing. It gets to, that part gets very time consuming as well. And then I have a junior designer. She's new though, but she's really great. So she's full time pretty much. And I also have someone helping with like project coordinating.
Okay.
Coordinating, and she's starting to help me with marketing.
And project coordinating, you mean like not like project management at a construction site, more like internally managing the projects. Okay.
Well, just like, some day-to-day, like coordinating, following up on like proposals and things like that.
Vendors.
Like always keeping the needle going on stuff is helpful.
Exactly.
Love
exactly. That. So we have an intern who might get promoted to like a studio assistant. She's working on her visa
listening
right now. No, she's working on If she gets the visa, then I'll have her come on as like a studio assistant, like for like admin and like, just like as a design assistant as well, like helping out with the extra or like errands, picking up samples, things like that. Oh, and then we have like a procurement manager.
In-house?
Well, no, so she's freelance. She does it for like multiple designers.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
She is an expediter. So if you guys ever need someone, she's very experienced, but she works with studio designers. So that's what we use right now.
Okay. So
Is that
basically,
5?
I'm just going to
1,
tell
2,
people to go
3,
to your DMs if they want to talk to that person. Like,
Yeah.
like
for
if people
sure.
are actually wanting to talk to someone,
Yeah.
go, like,
For
be
studio,
serious.
for studio designer only. I think she only works with that program.
Studio does make it easy. We've talked about that
You do
before.
use Studio?
Yeah,
We
Rebecca
do,
and I
yeah.
both have Studio. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
no.
the reports are easy.
I mean, I don't know if it makes
It's
it
nice.
easy.
I mean, compared to other programs, it makes it.
It's thorough, yeah.
I think that's what
I
I miss
love
is
it.
the thoroughness that all of your info can be there, and it's not in 14 spreadsheets that then get
Oh, right.
compiled. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
is easy
integrated.
if someone is already working. If you're already in Studio and uploading information and filling everything out, then an expediter's role is also kind of easy because they have information they need in one place instead of
It's a hub.
getting it from everywhere. They know where to get it from. So it does speed things up for sure. So I wanted to talk to you more about, like, if your team is that big right now, what is your next, like, 3 to 5 years look like?
No pressure.
Like, you got to have, I'm imagining with a team that big, you have a thought of like, I need these people and this is where I want them to go with me.
I would really love to continue to keep it like tight. Like I don't really want to grow the team necessarily anymore than, like in terms of like numbers. I do want to focus more on like quality over quantity. So even with projects, like I think my ideal roster would be like 5 to 8 like new builds and just keep it at that. I don't want to, because
Per
as
year?
you guys
Or at a time.
well, at a time.
At once.
Because
Yeah,
these
that
all
makes
take
sense.
like years, right?
Yeah, right.
I love doing new builds because I love being involved with the the architectural side from the beginning. But I also love like remodels, like mid-century homes. So I would love to focus on that like niche if possible.
I'm already just
Yeah,
manifesting
and
it for you because it is possible.
Thank you.
Like we're
Thank
surrounded,
you.
we're up to our
Yeah.
necks in mid-century homes, and we're up
True.
in Greater LA and Orange County. We're also up to our necks in people who have the money to do that shit. Like that's just a reality that
Yeah.
if you're in that space, we have a lot of them.
I think I would love to really just focus on that and just keep it like lean and mean.
So now, like you said earlier in your career, you weren't as experienced with furniture, but now I'm assuming you're doing like the whole home, like from construction to
Yes.
furnishing.
Yeah. And funny thing, I end up just custom designing most of the furniture
Nice.
because if I have like a certain thought in mind and I can't find it, then we'll just custom design it.
Yeah.
But like furniture. So what other kinds of things are you fabricating?
Well, I
Because in
end up
my
doing
head,
like a lot of built-ins too. Like I'll
Oh,
do like
yeah.
a whole
Okay.
like built-in sofa right around. It just depends on the space and how we could like maximize
yeah.
the function of it.
And
but
you're
yeah, and then-
fabricating like stone differently. Like I've noticed that you're like one of your project, I think it's your Cliff May project, had that rounded shower curve with the penny tiles that like curved over the top.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what a cool way to do this because they will actually go in that shape. And I mean, I know that's not the same as like it's one small
It's-
custom thing, but
Mhm,
to
it's
look
a small
at every
detail.
but to look at
Yeah.
every little piece and say, could I blow this up and do something cooler? Like it doesn't have to be mitered corners on a shower curb always. It could be this like soft rounded top on it. That was so cool. Like, and I'm like, something like broke when I saw that. I was like, well, of course you could do that with those. Of course they would mold to a curve. Like, but it's like constantly challenging ourselves to look at what you could do different with it or take that material. It's like an unconventional materials challenge. Like, what else can I do?
But I almost feel like that's like my toxic trait is I always think of things from the opposite direction to begin with. So, see, the thing that I feel like interior design almost like saved my life because it has like everything that was supposedly like a flaw growing up, like just being like, oh, you ask too many questions, like have too many ideas, you're an overthinker, you're too meticulous, like you're too picky, like all these things that were supposedly like negative, it ends up that they are like superpowers as a designer. And so I think just like, thinking too much or having too many ideas and like all these things, like it really is helpful. Or having too many tabs open. Well, that was like something that I just found out recently that I have ADHD, which I think a lot of people have in this industry and, in the creative field and entrepreneurs. But that used to be like, something that was, supposedly a negative trait. But in this field, it's such a superpower because, like, yes, it's really helpful to be able to have 1,000 tabs open because there are literally 1,000 things that we are juggling. And to be able to, like, kind of just go back and, like, oh, yeah, well, that and that. But yeah, like the details, I feel like that's what makes the design. So, like, having that little curve, like, that was something that I asked. I was like, well, why can't we just, because they were like, oh, do you want to put a Schluter? I was like, no, I don't want to put a Schluter. But because it was, but because it's a penny tile, you can't miter it. And so I was like, hey, do you think there's like, is it possible to maybe just kind of like curve it and have it go down? And thank goodness, that's why it's like so important to also like work with, people who are, serious about what they do. It takes a village for someone to be like, yeah, absolutely, I'll try that. And so that's another reason why I love like the more luxury level like contractors too, because they also understand and they're willing to go, not all, but like, many of them are like willing to go above and beyond.
And excited about it.
And
Like
they're
they are
excited
up for the
about it.
challenge. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas if it's like a budget, thing, then most of the time, like if they're more like budget focused, it's like, okay, that's going to take too long to figure out. Like we just need to do what we've always done.
And the client won't pay for it either. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the end result is just always going to be like what you see
The same
like
things.
times. Exactly. So yeah, like stuff like that. Like that's the thing that like kind of excites me is like constantly trying to like, well, what, it's like, oh, I've already seen that. Well, what else like can we do that we haven't seen? And that's just from me being like easily bored. So like if I see something a lot, like I get bored and so I'm like, okay, well, what can we do next? Like, how about we try this? How about we try that? And so I think that just comes out of like,
I think that's also though the other side of ADHD brain is the ability to quickly think of something on the spot. So a lot of people that would stress them out and they wouldn't be able to do that or want to do that. But that is like one of the superpowers.
Novelty
but
fuels an
intensity like
ADHD
brings
brain.
things out,
Yeah.
like pressure, like we thrive more in that.
yeah, deadlines and like,
Mhm.
and just
And so-
having so many things to juggle actually like keeps us focused. That like, it's just,
It's
it's very ironic.
It's a balance.
I'm not formally diagnosed, and my therapist was like, "You have a lot of traits, but nothing like." It's hard because when you're an adult, it's like, well, you've already learned how to adjust, compensate, and accommodate for your own things. So, like,
Totally.
a lot of it operates in the background for me of, well, that's just my brain. My brain is always, I look at a corner and I'm like, oh my God, imagine if we skim coated that and then we did like, my brain is always going to have another idea. It's always going to be searching for little things and wanting to research and go down a rabbit hole. And you're right that the narrative of the too much is related to people who don't have enough. This is not our too much. This is our normal. Our bucket is always overflowing.
Yeah.
So that it's not that it's too much. It's that y'all handed us too small of a bucket or too small of a vessel. Like I have way more. There's too much for it. Like, but too much was written from it's too small of a bucket. And we were meant to have bigger buckets for ourselves. We were meant to have more And I think I do think clients see that. I think they respond to that. Like they want that.
Well, our ideal clients do.
Yeah, the ideal
Not
client
Yeah.
will appreciate having
Yeah.
more, or like too many ideas is better than not enough. And then our job is just maybe to get a lot better at formulating that kind of stuff so it's not overwhelming to like a neurotypical person. Like,
Yeah. I know. Like packaging, like, like all of like those like decks and all that kind of stuff is
oh my
really
God.
important to kind of, that's the
But also
ongoing thing
frustrating because
again.
I like don't want to do all of that either all the time. Like a piddly spreadsheet starts to get exhausting when your brain is like, come on, we have something better to do. This idea is
Right.
already done. Now you're just like, we've generated the idea and then getting it tangibly onto paper in a drawing or on a
Yeah,
document
it's
or
like
a
you're
rendering.
over it.
I'm like, no, the
Over it.
idea
Like,
is already
somebody
out.
do it, please.
Yeah, I already
Make this
handed it.
happen.
I already handed you the gift. The gift is delivered now. And then now your job is to like go, like someone needs to help me do something with
No,
it.
for me, it's more like I've already thought of the gift, but someone needs to take it out of my brain, go to the store, buy it, wrap it, and send it. Which that is the hard part, is getting it out of here.
Yeah. That's why we need an admin assistant.
Yep.
I still think that most designers need an assistant who will also do like personal things. And a
Oh
lot
my
of designers
gosh.
don't like doing that. But I do feel like there is a level of like, hey, yeah, you're going to go get my dry cleaning. Because when someone has my dry cleaning picked up for me, I can think of other stuff faster. Like, I start to understand Jeff Lewis a little bit more every day. Do you ever
For
watch Flipping Out?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I start to understand more and more the mentality of just like, but if I know that you're managing my house and that's taken care of, I can go out and do superpower stuff.
Yeah. It's mental bandwidth. And everyone should operate from their zone of genius. Because like
Agreed.
that's leverage, And so that's why I think it's really important to have a team
I agree with you.
where everyone
I'm
can
not
like
there.
focus on what they're
I'm not there yet right now. Rebecca has started growing her team this year. I scaled back, and then now I'm in that zone of this is my roots year. And then it's like, as we move into expansion phases again, like I know that I'm my own bottleneck. Rebecca and I've been watching her reinforce that. And I feel like there's so much value for designers to see other designers doing that, of like, hey, I got to a growth phase and I need to push myself and I need to challenge myself. And it doesn't all look easy. It's not all easy. Like,
none
these
of it's
things,
easy.
it takes like diligent effort and a tolerance for risk, which is also really hard, right? Like, but it's good that you're
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're here to like support each other. I feel like that's why like all my like best friends are all designers, because we're sort of just cut from the same cloth and understand each other.
Yeah.
And we have like similar challenges. It's
That's
really
all
helpful.
we think about.
Yeah, it's like consumed our lives. It's like
It really
taken
has.
over.
It's a little bit incestuous sometimes, but also I don't feel completely understood by so many other people because our brains
Right.
do work different. It's only other creatives who really see us a lot of the times.
Yeah. And it's similar because it's like you're creative, but you're also an entrepreneur. And like those, that combination is a very specific type of alien. Like a species, like we're a special breed.
And relying on so many other businesses to do our jobs. So I was a graphic designer creative in my previous life, and there was some collaboration with printers or web designers or whatever, but
yeah,
I feel like we have a vast number of people that we need to coordinate and trust and build relationships with, or we can't do it.
Totally.
So it's like a lot more people involved as well.
I agree.
Is great, but that's like always the hardest things are always like when somebody else drops the ball on something.
Yeah. And like the communication is so important. So that's why sometimes I like over communicate. Because I feel like it's like you just have to be so specific.
No,
Right.
And
exactly. Like, the delivery is coming and you've reminded them 14 times about that one specific item that needs to be like triple checked. And you're still going to have to text them when you get the text, like, we're on our way 5 minutes. And then you're like, great, I am going to have to text again. Everybody remember to open this box first because it's the word. Like, you have to do it. And most people need, like, their brains are fuller than ours are. So they need even more reminders. Like,
yeah,
our
I
world's
know.
full
I
of
feel
a
like
lot of
that's
that.
what I feel like that's what project management is like really just like reminding every single person every single day about their like what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, because
So
their head is
it's a
full of
lot.
like, did you feed your baby today? And then you're just like, yeah, the baby was at the top of the list. I'm already on item like 20 now. Like, what about this? What about that? And it's almost too much for us to take in. Like, I'm
Alone,
glad you
like, I
have,
think we need
alone
help.
we can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, it's a team effort for sure.
I admire that there are many designers who still tout like, hey, I'm doing it. This is all me. I do it on my own and da da da. And I love that if that's what they want. And I love that if they feel happy with that.
Yes.
But I do know that like there are a lot of designers who that's not what they want and they're not happy with it, but that's where they're at right now. Maybe they can't make the financial obligation or they have to get to a headspace shift. And so some of those hotties are going to be hearing this right now and be thinking, well, that's not me right now. But then they're going to come back to this thought in maybe another year. And then they're like, of course I needed to hear this. Like, of course this needed to be
I guess
done.
as
Like,
a question, Lynette, like, what would you say to somebody in that position of, I know I need help to grow, but I don't have the growth yet? Do you have any
Yeah, it's like a chicken and
thoughts?
an egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was first starting out, that's why, even when I was doing my own projects, I was also working for other, people at the same time to help support like my just like finances, right? To be able to kind of like have multiple revenues. But I mean, I guess that's like different for everyone. But I never hired somebody full time right off the bat. So I've always, because I was a freelancer, I just worked hourly. So since the beginning, I've always hired people hourly on an hourly basis. So it
Hmm.
was only like as a need to basis,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I
Like,
wouldn't
you
have
had the
that
project.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I already had work and I needed help. But I think that's why going out there and like, just networking and getting to know people. I mean, even with like my design school, like when I went to school for design, like we would help each other. Like when we had projects, we would like hire each other to help
Oh,
each other
cute.
on our projects.
I love that.
So yeah. So I think like I feel like I bootstrapped a lot, right? So a lot of it is just doing things not necessarily like the traditional way and just figuring out where do you want to be and what are some steps that you can take to get there. And they don't always have to be what other people do. It could be like kind of like just thinking outside the box in a way. I don't know if that's helpful.
No, it is.
It is. I think that's what stands out to me about so much of it is it's again, it goes, for me, it comes back to like you have a tenacity and a scrappiness that is I'm going to figure this out mentality. It's if I don't know, my job is not to know. My job is to know people who do. And that's a different mentality for a lot of people to say, I don't have to have the weight of all of the ownership on me. But once I start getting things delegated or out there, I have to let those people run with it. I've got to try these things. I'm going to stay with them. I'm going to still be tenacious and follow up. But I feel like you've had a place where you've released some of that responsibility from yourself. So it's not all on you. And it's emotional work, not just the physical work of giving it to other people.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is collaboration. And so I think, and actually I really enjoy collaborating. So it's something that I've never been the kind of person where I'm like, no, I can do that. I'll do it myself. That's not me. You wouldn't hear me say that.
Okay.
I think I've always been like, I want to do that, but who does it better? Like, who can I talk to? Like, let's figure this out together. And what can I offer them? So it's kind of like a win-win mentality where it's not just like, you're not just going there trying to get things from people. It's also like, well, what can I offer you and how can I help you and how can we help each other? And I feel like that's, at the end of the day, like that's what I actually love most about what I do, is because it takes so many people and because I love working with people. Because I just love, like, I admire like other people who are really good at what they do. And so it feels like almost like a privilege and an honor to be able to work with others, because it's like you're always just learning from each other. And that's the magic. That's what creates, and that's the magic that produces like magical projects, is like the magic within all the people that are like working on it. So I think, I feel like that's what makes it fun. So, you know how sometimes people are like, oh, like, don't work so much, like you need to have but it's like, well, but this is what brings me fulfillment.
This is my life.
I know I struggle with that too, because yes, you definitely could end up pouring everything from yourself into it. Like, I see that for me personally.
It is my hobby and my profession. So like my bucket gets filled. I need to take a break from some aspects of it sometimes, and I need to like give myself space and like peace. But I don't feel bad about it being like the majority of my life, besides my family.
Yeah.
And the majority of my personality.
Yeah,
to be
family,
honest.
of course. Yeah.
But it's my
I think,
personality. Like, we're designers. We design.
I also kind of like try to look at myself as like a project. It's so, this is like a weird thing to say, but I kind of like to step away and like kind of like just sort of like assess, like, okay, where is this going? Like, what am I doing? Like, what do I need to improve? Like, what is still something that I need to do in order, do you know what I mean? Like, kind of stepping outside.
Your own self-improvement. Like,
yeah,
I'm growing and learning and changing myself every day, like kind of mentality.
Exactly. And I kind of do that as like a ritual. So like every Friday night, it's like my routine where I'll like journal and I'll kind of reflect on where things are or how do I feel. Like it's kind of like, it's sort of like a self-assessment. And like, what are some areas? Like, where is the block? Like,
it's a
how
360 review of yourself.
Yeah, because
not
like
your
that's
own
what
personal KPIs.
I love it.
But it's like, how can I improve as a leader? Like, what am I doing that's still like, where's the gap? Again, it's like working backwards. Like, if this is where I want to be and this is where I want, why am I not there? Like, what are the reasons? I also hired like a business coach like back a couple years ago. So, there's just like different things too. And I think a lot of that is like, again, like it's not something that I can afford to do like long term. But I think a lot of these things, just trying different things, trying whatever, like listening to podcasts, right? And like reading books and all that. And then taking like the season to just apply all those things.
Yeah. And you're willing to adapt. If you're not willing to adapt, then that doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Being willing to adapt. And I think that's it. I think that's like just from my background of moving a lot when I was a kid. Like I moved around so much and I just had to adapt to the environment. So it's like, what do I have to do now in order to be able to survive
and be successful? Yeah. So, I mean, that goes back to just our hardships become our superpowers if we use it in the right way.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of like, again, like with business, it's like you're in complete control over like, what you want to do with it. And then it's just a matter of like working backwards to be like, what am I still not doing? Or what do I have to do different? Or what do I have to stop doing? And then just kind of like intermittently like thinking about that.
Honestly, I'm so surprised that we came around to a version of this that is you staying focused on like Linette herself, of like, this is about my self-improvement and my business and is an extension of that. And maybe it stands out a lot just because of Rebecca and I have been talking a lot in the last year, especially about personal growth, like identifying ideal clients and ideal projects also needs to align with who we are and also who the types of values we want to be represented by our business. And maybe that's like part of the journey of getting your name in front of it and being visible and being out there, is realizing that you're aligned with all of those things, that personally and professionally, your own values, your own ethics, your integrity, like feeling like all of those things are in alignment with one another suddenly makes it very easy to achieve a lot more. but it takes a lot of critical work and probably a lot of therapy to get to a place where you can see, this is part of my life or my business or myself that's not in alignment. How do I fix that so my life suddenly feels easier and my business is easier?
And you're not trapped. We can do whatever we want.
You could literally, we're all adults and we can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
We don't have a boss.
That's
you are your own boss.
It's enormously freeing.
You're your
truly.
boss. It really is. And like kind of identifying like, okay, what kind of people do I want to work with? What kind of clients do I want? Who do I have to become? Or what do I have to do to also make sense that they would actually want to, that you're going to be aligned with the kind of people that you want to work with.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So it's just like kind of working backwards. I'm always working backwards.
I'm just going to go on record and say what you called that your toxic trait is that you're going to come at it from the other side and then work back into it. I don't think that's a toxic trait. I think that's like a very healthy
goal
trait to say like, I see my goal, but how am I going to get to it and break it down?
Break it down step by step.
Amazing.
There's no shortcuts.
Yeah, there are no shortcuts. Linette, I know everybody is going to want to hear and keep up with you if they're not already. Can you tell our hotties where they can find you and keep up with you?
Yes. So Instagram handle is at Linette Dai Design. LINETTEDAI Design.
Because we all want to go see that shower now.
Yeah, you guys are going to see that Cliff May rounded curb with the...
Yeah, it's the post with the triangle window.
Yes.
Yeah, that post did surprisingly well. I wasn't expecting it to so many people to love it so much, but
I think there's
I'm glad
something
it resonated
about it being different, and you can tell when you first look at it. You're like, wait, it's not an odd different. This has some unique differences,
Scroll
and I think it makes your eye go, what am I seeing? What am I looking at? Like, what is that? And that's that curiosity that you want to get from potential clients. It's just like, wait, what is that? If she thought of that, could she do it for me? Like that, you capture that, the magic of design. So
we're all going to go look and follow.
And thank you so much for being on the show with us.
I'm going to go home and do my Friday journal. I feel like I'm going to go review myself.
You're ready now. Yeah.
Well, I bought that from you guys. I bought the the annual assessment thing from you guys. I purchased it from your website and I did that once.
Thank you.
Kind of that was really
started
also
your own routine.
Yes.
I love that.
What a good roundabout story on that. From literally just internet friends, which is a thing for Rebecca and I too. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And until next time,
stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.